Grand opening, grand closing.
Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers, the only friend these YouTube streets, Puerto77, back with another video, one of my commentary series, right? So, topic of today is double barrel gearing with boomstick. Had his podcast, whatever, but he made an interesting point, which is not interesting at all. And what I mean by that is, it's an absolute lie. I don't understand how we have content creators that continue to provide false information. I understand he likes Xbox and all these people could pretend that they're neutral gamers, whatever. But if you're truly neutral, you would do the research, you would critically analyze your points, and then you will say the points that needs to be said. You wouldn't say a point that is false and that is pretty much you're trying to create a scenario. Let's just call it what it is. PlayStation hate. Simply because Xbox failed to be a good, or Microsoft failed to make Xbox a good console provider. So now everything's doom and gloom for PlayStation. I'm gonna, let me play exactly what I'm talking about here so you could understand.
If anything, look, and I think I'm going to come back to the super chats. I want to bring Crispy in, and this is where I'm going to let you go crazy. If numbers matter to anyone that watches this industry, all you got to do is look at MLB The Show, which is being played 6 times more than any Sony player. That should tell you something. Final Fantasy VII Remake, if it would have been released on both consoles, I guarantee would have sold better on Xbox. And you know how I know that? More people right now are playing Destiny on Xbox than on PlayStation. That's a fact. Crispy, let's talk about it, man.
You know, it cracks me up because people, the loudest people are generally the ones that don't do anything.
Yes.
They scream at the top of the rooftop and they say, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then they don't buy it. Instead, they just keep yelling about it. And this is where it gets crazy. You know, Square has probably seen these trends for a while. And PlayStation. I mean, let's be honest. Now they're breaking.
All right. I only let Crispy Bomb. I played his part a little bit to see if anybody would be like, whoa, hold on. Stop. What are you talking about, Boom? Like, you're talking crazy here. All right. So Boom literally is trying to argue that if Remake, Final Fantasy Rebirth and stuff would have been on Xbox, more people would have bought on Xbox than PlayStation. And that's a fact. And he uses MLB The Show where it's 6 times more on Xbox. I don't even know where he got that data, because in order to quantify that data, PlayStation has to reveal how many players are playing on PlayStation, and Xbox will have to reveal these are how many players are playing on Xbox. There is no data that shows that. In fact, Sony controls all the data, and they have not released player split. Same thing with Destiny. You have to release data on player split. There is no data to quantify that. So one, that is not a fact. But we can quantify the point of what he's trying to make. Final Fantasy selling better on Xbox than PlayStation. The funny part is he could have done this himself. Let's roll this beautiful beam footage, because the reality is we had scenarios where Final Fantasy, the mainline series, was multiplat. And boom, sold better on PlayStation than Xbox by a wide margin. This is one example. Final Fantasy 15 overwhelmingly high on PS4 than Xbox One in the UK. And UK usually has the same trends as the States, whatever. So last gen, PlayStation 4 trounced Xbox in Final Fantasy sales. Now, of course, I already know what you guys are going to say. Well, yeah, there's more PS4s than Xbox One. Well, hello, there's more PS5s than Xbox Series. Yeah, he still made that silly comment. But let's switch it up. Shall we? Shall we play a little game? But what if PlayStation wasn't the dominant console? What if Xbox in a made-up world was competitive against PlayStation and sold as much? Would Final Fantasy sell better in that Xbox, in a world where it's sold as much as PlayStation? Oh wait, that world actually existed. Yeah, that's not a multiverse. That's called Xbox One and PS3. And yet, PlayStation 3 version doubled the sales of the 360 in the US. The number one region of Xbox 360 sales. And in that region, there was more 360 console sales than PS3 sales in the US. Xbox 360 in the US was the market leading console, period. Even sold more than the Wii. Now, hold up, because I know there's some fanboys about to come on my channel. Listen to what I said, fanboy. Listen to what I said. In the US, geography, okay? Don't use Wii's worldwide sales to disprove me, stupid. US, Xbox 360 was the market leading console in the US between PlayStation 3, Wii, and the, obviously 360. It was the number one seller in the US, right? So 360 completely dominated the US, especially over the PlayStation 3. Yet, more people bought. There was higher sales of Final Fantasy 13 on the PlayStation 3 than the 360, despite the overwhelming market share in the US. Okay? In fact, it says right here, according to early statement for Sony Computer Entertainment, the PS3 version of Final Fantasy sold nearly double the Xbox version. In actual numbers, that broke down to 828,000. 828,200 copies of the game snapped up by those in the Sony camp, and 494,300 who preferred the 360 version. A win for Sony, but also a good show for Microsoft. More than double the sales on the PS3 despite Xbox 360 trumped PlayStation 3 in the US for console sales. No, Boomstick, no. I no situation, universe, or scenario would Final Fantasy, the mainline story game, sell more on the Xbox over the PlayStation. That is absolutely asinine and absolutely silly. I'm like, bro, you could have just be like, hold on. We had scenarios where Final Fantasy was day one multiplayer on Xbox. Let's see how it did. You should have known that. So no. Stop lying with this nonsense. Here's the reality. You guys just can't accept it. I'm going to tell the community this. Do not believe these Xbox fanboys thinking they don't want to see PlayStation fail. They absolutely do. At least enough to stop being an exclusive platform provider. All right? They want PlayStation to stick around, but not in the method it is. They want it to now be as irrelevant as Xbox consoles are, so that way we can celebrate everybody being irrelevant. That's what they want. They want everybody to feel like them. Sorry, we don't want to feel like you. We don't want to be in your position. You guys were stupid enough to do the weirdness. You guys couldn't just see the facts and the long time coming of the failure of the Xbox console. You guys were loyal. You cheered it on. You ignore facts. Now we hit you in the face. Now you want the PlayStation brand to just sink, just like the Xbox console brand sink. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. PlayStation is a much better publisher than Xbox. Sony does a much better job taking care of their consoles than Microsoft did for the Xbox. Sorry. That's just how it is. Sorry if that hurts your feelings. Sorry, right? And then this conversation about, well, the industry is changing, there's less exclusives. The majority of games are not exclusives anyway. So I don't understand this stupid conversation of the industry is changing, we're seeing less exclusive. The majority of games aren't exclusives. In fact, exclusives are the one-offs. How many exclusives do we actually have compared to games that are multiplats? Multiplats are the majority of the game industry. They're the majority. When you have a game, let's say like Final Fantasy Rebirth, that's exclusive to PlayStation, that's the one-off. Square Enix makes multiplat games. Did you buy those multiplat games? Did you buy Octopath Traveler? Well, it was exclusive. Octopath Traveler, true. That was multiplat across the board. Did you buy that? Did you buy Final Fantasy Crisis Core? That was a multiplat. There's lots of multiplats out there. Exclusives are actually the one-offs. We don't have a lot of exclusives, period. Even when you include Nintendo. Overall, if you look at all the games that came out throughout the year, every title, exclusives make up the smallest portion. So what is this nonsense about the industry's changing? Exclusives are going to be a thing of the past. Exclusives are very little anyway. Exclusives are really you know, are done by the ones who care about their platform. That's the problem. You want Sony to start caring about their console platform because you lost your console platform. Your console platform is a generic device. It is a device among devices. Right now, at this point, your Xbox console is no different than a mobile tablet, PC, or a TV screen. And Microsoft nurtured that mentality. You know it's bad when Microsoft spends millions of dollars on commercials that says no console required. But notice in that same commercial, they don't say no console or gaming PC required. Because if you're playing on your TV, right? Let's say Starfield. If you're playing Starfield on your TV, you don't need a gaming PC either. Cloud is supposed to remove you from all hardware. That means no console, no gaming PC. Just straight cloud on your TV or on your phone, on your tablet. So how come the commercial didn't mention no gaming PC required? How come Microsoft doesn't include both? Meaning you don't need a hardware device, because PC is still hardware. It is a hardware device. GPU, CPU, all that good stuff, right? Now, of course, people are going to say, well, you need PC. Yeah, you don't need a gaming PC. You could get, a $400 laptop to do productivity work. Unless you're into the advanced, graphics and all that other stuff, that's a different story. But the average person doesn't need a gaming PC for productivity. You don't need that much powerful hardware. You would have to be specialized in, engineering and all that stuff, right? Things where you need powerful hardware for professional work, advanced editing and all that stuff. But the average everyday worker on a laptop, you don't need a gaming PC to work on a laptop. So technically, a hardware-less future includes gaming PCs. Oh, we're going to have a world where we don't need consoles no more. Well, then why is PC sticking around? Because the same logic will apply to PC. If it's all about the cloud world, PC's gone too. So PC gets to stay, but console gets to go away. Get out of here with your nonsense. Here's the reality. You still have these Xbox guys for whatever reason, even though they got spat by Microsoft. Microsoft literally spat in your face. Right? Despite all your loyalty, all this nonsense, Microsoft completely went away with all the hype and the predictions and all the things you thought Xbox was going to do. Microsoft was like, no, we're not doing that. And they didn't even have the courtesy to give a shit and at least give you a warning. You didn't even get like an email or something like, hey, bro, you might want to tone down the message of the future of Xbox in terms of exclusives. Yeah, you might want to just go. And you could be like, why? Just ease up on your content with that. Okay, just ease up a little bit. Okay, ease up on all ABK games and Bethesda not going to PlayStation. You just we don't want you to put you and look silly in front of your audience. Not even that. They allowed you to look silly in your audience, right? Look how silly they made you look. While you guys in November, October, September, talking about exclusives, ABK, Bethesda, and all these suite of exclusives that's going to just empower Xbox, right? And getting ready for Xbox 2026. The developers of Sea of Thieves were secretly going into Sony headquarters so that way they can bring out the best product they can with Sea of Thieves. They even mentioned that they purposely did not wear a Sea of Thieves or any Microsoft emblem, nothing, because it was very secretive and they didn't want to bring attention to anybody. Tell me that's not crazy. While you guys were making content, talking on podcasts, they were literally in bed with Sony. Like literally. They were behind your back in Sony headquarters. Sony developers helping Xbox developers making games on PlayStation. While you guys and all you Xbox podcasters talking about the future of Xbox, competing with PlayStation. While Xbox is literally in bed getting their back broken by PlayStation. This shit is wild, man. You guys out here looking like Adam 22 and Xbox leading the plug. Y'all guys, stop it, bro. Stop this nonsense, okay? Number one, majority of the industry don't make exclusives. So this whole idea of the industry changing, no. What you're saying is Xbox failed, so we need PlayStation to fail, so that way they both look the same, and then everybody can say we don't need consoles. That's really what you're saying, okay? sorry that Microsoft couldn't do for Xbox what Sony's doing for PlayStation. Okay? Now, as far as Final Fantasy failing in sales, I just find it hilarious how now you guys are all talking about PlayStation sales when you guys avoided Xbox sales of your games for years. You paid no mind to your own first party, the lack of your own first party sales. You paid no mind to the lack of third party contribution sales. PlayStation was swallowing it all up. You know, the majority of the market share for third party sales was going to PlayStation or PC. Those were the two titans. And you guys did nothing for years. But now you're worried about Square Enix. You're not worried about Square Enix. You don't give a shit about Square Enix. The only thing you give a shit about is that Microsoft and Xbox in particular is just looking weaker and weaker and weaker. And you're trying to stop the bleeding. Xbox is bleeding out. And you're doing the best to try to put a tourniquet and tighten it up. You don't give a shit about Final Fantasy sales. You don't give a shit about exclusive sales either. You don't. You know how I know? Because none of you are talking how Stalker 2 is not coming out day and date on PlayStation. The market leader in consoles. You have no issues with the time and exclusivity for Stalker. How come none of you are against that? How come you're not making content about, hey, you know, Stalker 2 is coming out, and yes, it's a time exclusive Xbox, but if this game really needs to be successful, it needs to come out day and date on PlayStation, because PlayStation is the market leader. You know, so if people wondering about Stalker 2's success, this even if it's just 3 months, it's not really good for the game. It needs to come out on PlayStation day and date. How come you guys ain't making content on that? How come what? No, what? Now we don't know what we're talking about? Now we don't know. Now I'm not saying, oh, he's poor begging Stalker. When it comes out, comes out. I don't care. But if you guys care about the industry, if you guys are like the industry changing, how come you're not making content demanding Stalker be day and date on PlayStation for the sake of the game, for the success, for the sake of the studio, especially, right, the studios from Ukraine, right? So they really need the help. Didn't the game get delayed because of the Russian invasion and all that, right? So that studio is critical for success of Stalker, right? So why don't you champion day one multiplat for that game? Yeah. Keeping our mouth shut on that one, right? Yeah, stop the bullshit, man. Stop this nonsense, okay? Not on Xbox best day, which Xbox had a best day, aka 360, with Final Fantasy sell better on that platform. Okay? The Xbox gamers, you are not Final Fantasy gamers. You're not. All the Final Fantasy gamers pretty much know to get a PlayStation, and that's one of the reasons why they get a PlayStation. Now, if you want to really argue, then why are their sales lower? Why are their sales lower? Maybe Square Enix is losing something with the franchise. Maybe the franchise, little by little, is losing its appeal. Maybe something's happening that people aren't grabbing on. I will say this, and I will admit this. While the game is exclusive in terms of where it's at and its availability, I personally don't believe the game was made under the environment of being exclusive. What I mean by that, the technical aspect. So far this gen, Square Enix has not impressed me from being a technical expert. They're not. I don't see it. Their exclusive games, I don't see the advantage from a technical aspect of their games being an exclusive. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see them being a technical marvel. And that's just how it is. Now, of course, people can argue, oh, you're top worried about graphics and all that stuff. I'm sorry, but some people, graphics, performance is part of the equation of the appeal. You cannot remove certain aspects of a game from its appeal. Gaming is also a visual art form. So guess what? There's got to be a visual appeal to it. That's just the reality. It's all part of it. Sure, you can argue gameplay is the most important, absolutely. But sometimes you need some people to get, the hook. Especially with the price increase in games, $70. You can't make excuses for these companies. They want to charge $70? All right, cool. Step your game up and stuff. I would say, while Final Fantasy in 30 frames, visual marvel, but their performance mode lacks. Right? And then they're going to come, oh, we'll make improvement months later. And I'll be honest, I hate that from any company. From any company. Now No one's partially paying for your game. Like, okay, the game is $70, we'll give you $30 now, and then over time we'll give you the rest as you improve the game. No, you get your $70 100% complete, right? And now you're gonna say your game's gonna be better 6 months down the line? That's literally, they're literally creating a scenario where it's not worth buying their games day one. If it's just simply better to wait to get the better product 4, 5, 6 months down the line. And by that time, the game's like $40, $30. You're incentivizing waiting. That doesn't make sense for anybody. Stop incentivizing waiting. Incentivize day one quality product. That means quality performance mode. And for God's sakes, bro, like, please, if you're making a PlayStation exclusive, right, and you brag about all the hardware and all that stuff, then do what PlayStation first party does and goddamn use those extra performance modes. Trust me, right? That's going to make your game better. More people will want your game because you provided more modes to allow them to enjoy the game with better performance and visuals. Sony does it with their first party. High frame rate plus VRR combined allows to do unlocked frame rates at 1800p or higher to 4K. All this stuff makes the game visually better and smoother. Please use those damn modes. Stop with just the default performance mode and quality mode. Take it a step further if you're making an exclusive for the PlayStation platform. The modes are there. The technology's there. Use it. And some of y'all not even doing performance mode. Dragon Dogma 2 is just 4K 30. That's it. Didn't even bother using performance. Like, shit. Stop this nonsense. Golly, bro. This industry's killing themselves. They expect so much from the gamers while they're not at least trying to make the next bar in technology the standard. Everybody says, oh, we need better hardware to push gaming forward, but the developers are not really pushing gaming forward. Every multi-plat developer, and to me, if you're a PlayStation developer, unless you're like an indie, you don't have money, but if you're a AAA developer on PlayStation 5, every game should have those extra modes that Sony provides for their games. All of you. There should be no developer running away from that mode. Those modes should be the standard providing it. What is the point of telling us, well, with 2.1 compliance, you'll get this? What's the point of being 2.1 compliant, HDMI? If you're not actually going to use all the benefits for me. That is absolutely dog shit and absolutely trash, right? Those extra performance modes should be the standards. There's guys I tell, they still don't know what I'm talking about. They're like, oh, what you talking about, Porter? Right? Like, it's absolutely insane. That high frame rate plus VR, additional options of performance should be the standards. Every console gamer, at least on PlayStation 5, should be aware of it, and it should be applied to at least the big AAAs. Whether it's from Rockstar, EA, Ubisoft, Capcom, CD Projekt Red, they should all do it. And of course, I'm already gonna see the comments in this section. I'm already seeing. I can already see the comments being typed up. You can't make companies do that. Why are you guys literally typing things that are against your own self-interest? Is blowing my mind right now. And you guys haven't even typed the comment section yet, but it's already there. Some of you are already in a comment defending publishers and corporations for not providing you the better experience. You're defending people who's giving you less. Right now, it's happening. You're in the comment section typing it because you think you're doing something, not realizing you're killing yourself. Do you not realize if you own a PS5 and you demand these corporations, these publishers, these developers to use those frame rate modes, you will get a better experience. You bought a PS5 for a reason. This is why I give props. You know what? I give PC gamers props on this. They will always choose their self-interest over a company. Even if it's illegal. Like the emulation stealing games, they will defend that to the last breath, even though they're stealing. It's wrong. But they don't give a shit because it's about them and F everybody else. They don't give a goddamn. They don't want to hear shit. It's all about them and no one else. They're not defending corporations that goes against their self-interest on PC. If you will go against the interest on PC, oh my God, they will uniformly destroy that developer. If a developer goes, yeah, we're not interested in using DLSS, go ahead and be that dude. Go ahead and be that dude. And you don't provide DLSS, they will crush you. They're not trying to hear about, well, it's expensive to interplay. They don't give a shit. You will not deny what the PC hardware provides. They will not be denied. So I give PC gamers props. They won't be denied on that. They're not. They're not going to put up with that. Every developer needs to take advantage of everything, to include mod support, all that stuff. Everything. Everything that the PC can do, developers will ensure that the games are able to do it. But not console gamers, not some of us. There's a lot of us that rock with me and get it. We got a PS5, you're damn right we want these modes. And why it's not the standard across the board is beyond me. But some of you dudes will right now type in the comment section, getting ready to defend on the publishers and developers not adding extra modes. You will defend them and you will protect them from doing work to give you a better experience on your favorite game. Oh my God, enough of that. You know what? I'm gonna end the video on that. You let me know what's going on. But final note. Boomstick. Not on Xbox best day or PlayStation's worst will a mainline Final Fantasy game sell better on Xbox over PlayStation. No. Enough. Not happening. It's just not it. Okay? Puerto77, your only friend these YouTube streets. Hit up the comment section and let me know. I'm out of here. Peace.
Grand opening, grand closing.